Guess what? The Gulf shrimp are back, and so too are the tourists, lots of them. So the dead zone really isn't dead, even though drilling there all but is. Down 13% from pre-spill levels as oil tops $111 a barrel just today, and gas rises for the 30th straight day. My next guest says it's not the spill that's the problem. It is the administration's overreaction ever since the problem. Jim Noe is Senior Vice President for Hercules Offshore. So, Jim, your argument has long been we way overreacted, we just shut down production, and that is what's created the calamity, right?
That's exactly right. There's no doubt about it. There was a human tragedy. 11 men lost their lives a year ago today. All of us mourned for them and their families, and we do so today still. But the calamity that we've not been able to recover from is really the calamity that's been created by man-made hands in the Obama administration's overreaction to the tragedy, the spill, completely stopped production in the oil and gas area offshore, imposed a moratorium on all offshore drilling, shallow and deep, oil and gas, regardless. And that's created an economic problem. And right now it's created a national security problem because we don't have the production that we once had. In fact, it's down by 14%, according to the federal government's own Energy Information Administration.
Well, you know, I can certainly understand, Jim, the skittishness at the time and to go slow on approving new drilling permits to make sure this kind of thing didn't happen again. But your argument has been that they way overreacted, and even permits and you know, exploration activities that were well cleared were stopped, right?
Absolutely. The shallow water is a good example. My company, Hercules Offshore, we're the largest drilling contractor in the shallow water. About 80–90% of the wells we drill are natural gas wells. We've been drilling these wells for 60 years safely and without major incident. But our business was shut down, has been significantly impacted by the Obama administration's policies.
So
but
shallow
the real
and deep
danger
water,
here,
I'm sorry, because you're so smart at this, a lot of people didn't realize this. The shallow and deep water drilling were both affected by this and still are affected?
Still, we still see slow walking of permits. We have seen a little more permits now than we did a year ago, but let's just step back for a moment. The administration has had a year to figure out what it wants to do with offshore drilling, and we're still in a confused state. And that confused state has led to one thing. We're importing more oil from foreign sources, and we'll be importing oil from foreign sources for a long time to come, thanks to the Obama administration's reaction or overreaction to the spill. What we've seen is that the federal government own statistics show that we'll have a third less domestic oil in 2 years' time. It's going to decline by 250,000 barrels per day for the rest of the year and all of 2012. If you add up and do the math, Neil, that's 450 million barrels of oil. That's $45 billion that we'll have to pluck from the American purses and pocketbooks at the gas pump and put into the pockets of madmen like Gaddafi and socialists like Chavez in Venezuela.
Then what
We're going to have to get
Jim,
this oil from somewhere.
I understand. What do you say when the administration and other critics of the industry say, even if it got all of its wishes and all of its permits right now, it would be years before we'd be seeing the fruit of that labor and that drilling. So it wouldn't make a difference in the energy equation. What do you say?
Well, I'll answer it in two ways. First off, when you have increased production and increased supply, prices go down. But if the Obama administration came out tomorrow and on national television said, we're going to drill more, we're going to allow more offshore drilling, we're going to approve permits in an efficient and effective and safe manner, you would see gasoline prices at the pump immediately go down, because the prices at the pump are determined by psychology and anxiety of the marketplace.
In other words, the thought that more supply might be coming on the market, just like the fear of supply being taken off the market in the Middle East, would dissuade people from bidding up the price of oil.
That's right. And one thing we tend to forget is that in America, we have abundant natural resources. We're the third largest oil producing country in the world behind Russia and Saudi Arabia. We have oil and gas in our own backyard. What we need to do is now produce it. We all agree we need to be safe. We need to be stewards of our environment. We need to be stewards of the resources we have. But the Obama administration views domestic oil and gas production as a problem rather than an asset.
Well put. Jim, thank you. Good seeing you again. Thank you very much.
Neil, good to speak with you again, as always.